Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So if it's your first time tuning in today, thank you for coming, and if it's not your first time, thanks for coming back. So if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to share. So my schedule has been off because I've had so many things to do. So I was posting every Sunday, but for the past week I've been posting every Wednesday. So hopefully soon I'll get back to the groove of posting every Sunday, because that's like the best time I could post my videos. So today I'm going to be telling you guys about what has worked for me preparing for my USMLE Step 1 exam. As you guys know from my previous videos, I'm preparing for the Step 1 exam, which is a major exam in medical school. Both MBBS students can take it, both MD students can take it. But me, I'm an MD student in the Caribbean Medical School, so I'm going to be telling you guys how I'm able to prepare for the exam, or what I'm using, the resources and everything. Now I shared this in the video. I shared the schedule I'm going to be using, like a sample of my schedule, not really my schedule, but you can check that in the video I'm going to put up here, so you can get to know what I'm going to be studying. So I already told you guys I'm going to be using first aid, I'm going to be using Pathoma, I'm going to be using Uworld, I'm going to be using USMLE RX, Express Video, and the Q-bank. I'm going to be using flashcards. So now my school doesn't really teach us in the aspect of step 1 basically, but they teach you basically medical school. So after our MD5, you're going to have to work towards making your own schedule and reading for step 1, most likely on your own. So I've been doing that for the past 1 month. I started in August 16. I started in August 16, not up to a month yet, but for the past few weeks. So I'm going to tell you guys what I used to study, what has worked for me. First things first, I'm going to tell you guys to check my study schedule to know the type of schedule I'm going to be using, or rather you can see my schedule up there. Yeah, there, this one. So that is like a sample of what I'm going to be using, so you can check my previous video to find that. So I'm going to start with the flashcards, which most students use Anki, if you know Anki made, but I'm not someone that does that, so I prefer to use make my own flashcards. So you can see here I have the flashcards on non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So let me show you guys how it is. So I basically write the topic at it, I highlight it here, and then I have the different pathology, which is Hodgkin's lymphoma, and then at the back of the flashcard I put the I don't know if you can see clearly, the light is so much. I put the what I need to know about this, and then every 2 days I study these flashcards. Now I have lots of flashcards over different things, anything I think it's as much and it's high yield and I need to practice and learn it well. I also have flashcards on lower extremity nerves of MSK. I have flashcards on the vasculitis. I have flashcards on random knowledge, basically random things that I think I need to know. And then I've only gone through the Hem-Onc section, MSK section, GI and endo. So that's what I have flashcards on. I have important GI ligaments. So basically I just get this flashcard. I think you have them on Amazon for $2, so use them. And I got this from Dominica, from school, so I just put all my flashcards in here. So I started with that because that's one thing I realized has helped me a lot in remembering things. I didn't want to have to pay for Anki, which is about 6,000 naira Nigerian currency, about how much USD. So I decided to make my own flashcards. So basically that's economical for me, and that also helps because I feel writing something out with your hand makes it stick better than just reading it off a book. So the next thing I use for my study, which is basically called the Bible of Medical School, is my 2020 USMLE Step 1 book. Now this book is a book of high yield important facts you have to learn. You have to basically learn about 90% of this book. You have to know everything. So what I did was I got this to separate, to know which is micro, which is par, which is gastro, endo. So I go through the USMLE RX video, and then I annotate and I highlight as I go. I don't know if you can see clearly here. So just annotate it, highlight whatever I know is important, and then yeah. So I've been using this book since I got it in the first year of medical school, but I didn't really use it then because I didn't really know how to use the book exactly. So what I just do, why I started using it now, I started using it in I think I started using it judiciously in January, but because of I had to learn schoolwork, so basically I had to like focus more on my schoolwork. Then I started studying for the step 1 officially in August, which I've been using this basically before August. So there's something else that I want to mention, something I also do that I think has been very helpful for me. So I got this notebook from Staples, right? So what I use this notebook is for, what I use the notebook for is I just basically draw out whatever important thing I need to know. Like now you can see this is the celiac trunk, this is the angina, steps of angina and their symptoms. This is the myocardial infarction evolution, like 0 to 4 hours, what do you see? 12 to 24, what do you see? I also have vitamin K, dependent, basically anything I think, any diagram or any table I think I need to see frequently without opening my big book of first aid. So I just use this book to like highlight it, like write it down and then practice. Like this is the coagulation pathway. Before I started studying for this step 1, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know the coagulation pathway. I basically, let's say, just crammed it for exams, right? But I read the him-onc section last week and I took my time and I drew this like 5 times, and I can see right now I can actually draw this from my head. So this book has really helped me. It just helps me write down the high yield stuff. You can see the cardiac output variables, basically anything I need. You can see the atherosclerosis and my diagram of the aorta, which is very ugly, but that's what I use this book for. So that is one thing I recommend to anybody. This has worked for me. You can get any book, you can get a small book and get a big book, but I use this big because I think you can like take more stuff. So this is one thing I use. Something else I do, I have this journal, right, that I basically write down my day's work. Like normally my schedule doesn't have like 8 o'clock, wake up at 8 o'clock, do this. So let's assume I go to bed at 6 a.m. and I wake up at 2 p.m. for example. So when I wake up at 2 p.m. I have my bath, then I sit down and write my work for today. What do I want to accomplish today? So I can't really show you guys it because it's not clear, but you can see here. You can see here 25th of August. I've written that what I was supposed to do. I woke up at 6. I woke up at 5. I woke up at 3, and then I started studying at 6. So you can see from 6 to 10 I was doing Uworld questions and reviewing them. 11 to 4 I did first aid for 4 hours, which was here MSK, and then 5 to 8 I did another Uworld question, and then 8 to 9 I did like flashcards. So this really helped me. So when I'm done with a particular thing, I just tick it. You can see here I just tick when I'm done with a particular thing. So this has really helped me. I got this book from my auntie here in the US, so that's what I use to document my daily schedule. Now the second important thing I use apart from the first aid is the Pathoma book. Now I've talked about this book already in my previous study resources used in the first year of medical school. So this was one thing I used that was high yield. It's high yield basically. I think almost every student studying for step 1 has to, at least, even if you don't have the Pathoma book, you have to watch the Pathoma videos. But I think when you buy the Pathoma videos, you get the Pathoma book with it. But this I got from a friend of mine, so I didn't have to buy the Pathoma book. So this basically gives you the important things, gives you everything about pathology, cardiac pathology, respiratory pathology, repro pathology, skin and MSK, everything. So if you can actually get through this book twice. Now my intention is to go through this book at least 3 times for my step 1 exam. So I'm going to be going through this book at least 3 times throughout my step 1 exam before I write my exam. Now the next thing I use is my Sketchy Micro and Sketchy Farm. Now normally I'm not really a cartoon person, but there's one thing that I know, that Sketchy Micro especially has worked amazingly for me when it comes to learning about staff errors. Like now I have staff errors in my brain. Even when you ask me a question, like I remember every sketch in Sketchy Micro on staff errors. That's how crazy it is. So I was recommend for anybody. Sketchy Micro is amazing. Sketchy Farm is a bit long, about the 26 minutes for a particular video, 30 minutes for a particular video, but at least you get to have important points. And the reason why I think it's long is because they need to give you every minute details, everything, every mechanical action, every side effect, everything. So I think that's one reason why it's long. Now the next important thing is Uworld. Now I already have a Uworld subscription that I bought in 2019, which is supposed to expire this month. But Uworld is like a Q-bank. It's a Q-bank where you just like have questions. Now the one that I read about this study for this step 1 is that you might know the front and back of the first aid book, or the front and back of Pathoma, or the front and back of Sketchy Micro, but then you don't know how to apply that knowledge to questions. So you need to practice questions. You need to do Uworld questions. Either you get Uworld, which is number 1 for an exam, or you get USMLE RX, or you get Kaplan, or you get Amboss, or you get. So the third important thing I actually use are called Boards and Beyond. Now Boards and Beyond is like a lecture and question resource basically. So you have to subscribe to it. I think it's about 3 months, about $129. I'm not sure, but you can check their website, boardsbeyond.com. You can check for like subscriptions, whatever you want to use. So I use that to annotate my first aid because there's so much that he teaches. Dr. Ryan teaches a lot, so whatever is not in my first aid book, I highlight it in the book so that I have everything in Boards and Beyond. Now I've been using that for a while. I just watch Boards and Beyond and I highlight my book, highlight my first aid, I highlight my Pathoma book, anything that it's important, I just highlight it in my first aid book. Okay, something else I also do is I have these pens. I have some of these pens that I got from Staples, and let me show you guys. So they have the pink, they have the green. I talked about in my previous video. I just use this as like to write on my book. So when I see this and it's microbiology, I write this microbiology. And I also have this highlighters, mild liners, so you guys should also check that out. To get some sticky notes. Now this is basically to write down any extra thing that is not in your first aid book. Anything does not have any particular drug or any particular pathology, you can just use your sticky notes to write it down and put it on your book. Now the concept of this is to have all your information in one book so it doesn't get scattered, so you don't have this here or this here. So try your best to have everything either in your Pathoma book, which is pathology, or you have everything high yield in your first aid, which is basically first aid. Now what I use for my sketches, I use my iPad Air to annotate and watch the videos alongside. You can check my previous video on apps on my iPad Air 2019. You can see that, and then you can use it to work alongside with it. I also use NBME self-assessment. Now the assessments I've used NBME 16, NBME 13, the ones that were free at the NBME from NBME people. Now I wrote an exam in school in June, so I used those ones to prepare, which is a CBS exam you have to pass before you can prepare for step 1. So basically I used those NBMs to prepare for my CBSE. So alongside, not now, I'm going to be buying the new forms, NBM 24, NBM 20, and NBM 21. I'm going to be using those to like check my study and see how it's going. So you guys should also get that. That's what has worked for me. You can get the NBME form, self-assessments. You can also use Uworld assessments. You can also use Kaplan. You can also use USMLE RX. Those also work. Now, so I also have some study videos on Study With Me for 1 hour, for 3 hours. You know, funny thing, personally, I use these videos to study. Yesterday, I was studying Reynolds system of first aid, and I actually played my 3-hour study video and I was using it to study. One, it eliminates me from using my phone, so my phone is basically playing the video, so I can't touch my phone until I'm done. And 2, it also motivates me. Seeing myself study makes me study. So you guys should also use that. It's actually very, very, very motivational. Personally, I've used it a lot of times, the 1 hour, 3 hours, to just study. Even I'm gonna make the video, but I've used to study. So that is basically all I have for you. So don't forget to like, to comment, to subscribe. You guys should please subscribe to my channel. I really need your support. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody to subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate the support. And also drop comments if you have any if you have any video suggestion, drop the comments and I would reply. I would answer. If you won't have any video suggestion, if you want to see something else on my channel, just tell me and I will try and make that possible.